Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everyone. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما ربي لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amen. We started last week studying the story of Prophet Adam in the Quran. And first, the story starts with God speaking to angels that he intends to create or to make a successor on earth. So angels question they are going to shed blood on earth, and they will cause lots of corruption, and since we are celebrating you, glorifying your names, your holiness, and we are praising you, why you needed to create, or you need to create a bloodshedding and corruption people. And God says, I know what you don't know. Let's come there now. Okay. That we are left here today. And then he creates human being, but in a strange way, the Quran speaks to us human beings that, let me read the translation of the verse now, who makes most excellent everything that he creates. Thus, he begins the creation of men out of clay. Why this expression sounds strange? There's a reason for it. Of course, the reason is Quran is speaking to me how I am familiar to understanding the events, anything in this world, within the course of time, duration. I do everything step by step. How about the Creator? If I am aware of the qualities of the Creator, I would never think that he is subject to time as well, waits for the next stage to create. That is what we understood from the way the universe is created. But Quran speaks to me as I can grasp it. If the Quran said, I created men with tin, out of clay, and at the same time, the following verse says his offsprings from that, and then breathe. I mean, the body is made in such a way that the body, through the body, human beings will see that the body produces, although the body doesn't produce, but as I will see it in my created form, body will produce the drop of humble fluid to regenerate my youngs. So the circulation of human creation will continue. That's how I grasp it. That's why God speaks and explains this creation as human beings perceive it. So make it easy for them to imagine, to keep in their mind, and turn to yourself, to themselves. It means we should see first what I see, a perfect creation of my body. Because without realizing the perfect creation of my body, I cannot realize the perfect creation of human side of it. It means spirit side of it. I wouldn't know how this body is functioning within itself. Of course, here, only one aspect of the creation of human body is presented to us. But if you really studied millions, maybe more times, more things are going on in human body's creation, although it is the simplest side of human beings. If you look at the complete picture of human beings, body can be ignored. Human feelings, the quality of my consciousness, my intellect, my feelings, or their creation, the way they function, is beyond a comprehension of human beings to be explained in terms of the conditions of this world. Impossible. So wonderful, but they exist. That is interesting, but they exist. Beautiful. Anyways, he made his, he makes everything, the one who makes everything excellent that he creates. Is it really so? There are many ugly, dirty, evil things going on. I'm carefully using the word now. Is he really creating them, those ugly, dirty illnesses, for example, diseases, dirty things? There is no need to mention them. And also calamities that we cannot really resist, and we are defeated. Are they also excellent creation? This is interesting. Look at this. The wordings is very interesting here. الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه, which is also translated, everything that he creates. Now, look at this. For example, the creation of the virus. They say coronavirus, or whatever the name they take for it, I don't care. But the way of the virus is created is unimaginable. No one can create it. Only within the conditions of the order of the universe, people can apply to the conditions of the order of the universe and learn from it and create, develop from that by obeying the order of the universe. We cannot choose out of nothing. We cannot make anything out of nothing. No, we just choose it from among the given things. So excellent creation, but it is harmful. Yeah. It is created in such a way that we are reminded to seek refuge from its evil effect, which damages or harms us. Seek refuge with the Creator. Say, I don't want this, please, God, keep it away from me. I have no right to say that. First, the creation of this virus is not perfect. And also, I have no right to say that, why did you create it? So that I am scared. Everybody is scared. Can I criticize in this way? If I look at the purpose of my existence in this world and look at my reality as a creature who has free will to choose between right and wrong, I have to have wrong option in order to make decision and decide what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, so that I will realize the right is how perfect it is, wrong is how bad it is, so that I have to seek for the right one. I have to seek protection for the evil effect of wrong one. That is, there are two verses in the Quran we have to be extremely important. These are important and careful about and keep in mind in our mind. One is, everybody knows two of them. Min sharri ma khalaq. قل أعوذ من شر ما خلق. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق. But falaq side is not related to our subject. That's why I'm shortcutting it. قل أعوذ برب شر ما خلق. God creates. What does it mean? I have to seek refuge with God from what he creates. Yes, exactly. You didn't misunderstand. Exactly. Why? This is the part of education. Realizing that this is to be avoided. The other one is to be sought after. So when I receive what I like, I have to be grateful. When I receive what I don't like, I have to acknowledge that I need protection. I cannot really control the order of the universe, feel that everything is fine. That's it. I have to do nothing. And in this way, we cannot learn anything. And especially we cannot practice our free will. When I don't practice my free will, I learn nothing. No improvement in my feelings, because my feelings are potentials. They need to become ability, capacity. Like the example, for example, any of you can study medicine and become somehow familiar with the science of medicine. But if you don't study, this potential can never, ever improve by itself. So it dies away. And of course, I will be asked, why did I waste it? Now, as far as this kind of professional things, there is no responsibility, because we are given the options. We are not expected to develop everything, every potential. It's impossible, endless. We cannot get to the end. But potential to fulfill, to accomplish the purpose of my existence is everybody's responsibility. What is that? Use any of your potentialities and the potentials, and acknowledge who can be the source of existence of this potentiality, investigate it. That is everybody's responsibility. Whether you study medicine, you become an historian or sociologist, whatever you study, or to become a farmer, or to become a shepherd, doesn't matter. While you are using your abilities, whatever the ability, potentiality it is, developing it, how do you regard it, see it, which kind of attitude you have towards this potentiality, whether it is a grace to you, a gift to you, or you just took it as your property because it is given to you freely. That is one verse that we should never, ever, ever forget while we are thinking about, especially so in inverted commas, they call it problem of evil. There is no problem of evil, at least to me. No, evil is perfect in creation, and it is a means of education. So simple for me to improve my potentialities in many ways. So teaching takes not only one way, teaching takes in many ways, by rewarding, by warning, and also by not rewarding if you don't deserve it. That is how education should be as far as the capacity that I am created with now. The second verse that while we are dealing with this problem, the second verse is وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. A phrase within the verse, which is very Ayatul Kursi famous, they call the Supreme Court with the verse of throne. Sometimes they call it throne verse. Allahu la ilaha illa hu huwa al-hayyul qayyum, etc. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. We have to understand that we human beings cannot obtain, muhit means comprehend, cannot obtain any knowledge except the source of knowledge, who is the creator of the universe, who's called God, except God permits us to learn, reveals his knowledge, although not in absolute terms, but in created terms. His knowledge is reflected in the creation of the universe as we see it as the order of the universe. But order of the universe is revealing itself. Let the human being get a little bit, as much as they want to get it. It means the more they pray, the more the wisdom of God allows them to discover one step at a time, one step at a time. That is how science is developed. These two verses, but there are something written in chat. Let me say now. Anne says, Doctor, don't use doctor. We are friends. My name is Ali. Don't you say Ali Berber? I'm joking. As a friendly, I am reminding you. I feel uncomfortable when I am addressed in an official way. But I don't want to be official as if I have a special status. God forbid, it's very satanic. So I don't want to have this. Say it, Ali. Okay, thank you, Ali. Perfect. I love it, Ali. Can you please put that phrase in the chat box about avoiding the ugly? I mean, technical gigs. Come on, IT people. Get it from Falak. Chapter, 111.
It's already posted in the chat, brother.
Sorry?
It's already posted on the chat.
Farah. Okay. The one you said we should never forget. Yes, min sharri ma khalaq. The other one also. The other one also, please. Thank you. Thank you, Farah. The other one, وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. It doesn't mean that no one can get any, of course, manifested form of God's creation, God's knowledge manifested in creation. Of course, God's knowledge manifested in creation. Yes, we can, if only God permits, but God is wise. God not permit human beings to get from his knowledge by not praying to him, asking for him. There is no response from God on earth to human beings unless they pray. The pray may be action-wise, verbal, feeling-wise, intellectual understanding, awareness of the searching for the reality, need-wise, which is reflected in the form of prayer. So verbal prayer, supplication. If we want anything from our Creator, there is only one way, not two, praying. But there are various ways of prayer, various ways. We have to use them in order to present our petition to the Creator. He promises that within his wisdom, he will reveal his knowledge, his mercy, his forgiveness, whatever we are seeking for from God. Thank you. Here we go. But no one can grasp any of his knowledge except that he wills to reveal. Yes. That's good translation. Generally covers the content of the verse. Generally, of course. Now, did we get it? Now, is there any problem so far? Whatever God creates is perfect. For example, the rotten, very bad smelling food, for example. Oh man, stinging. Oh, very stinging or not? What they say. Yeah. What do you think? It is a perfect creation or not? And it is creation. Perfect. No one can create it like that. So the way it is created has a function, has a wisdom. Now we have to understand, we should not, for example, leave the food unattended and let it get stale and ultimately rot. The creation process starts then in the form of a bad smell, reminding us, hey, something going on wrong here. You shouldn't be doing that. Or if it is created somewhere there, carrion, for example, and you see, if God's employed creatures, angels, which are, I don't know, the names of them, falcons and other animals who feed on this rotten body of animals or anybody really living thing, then even the ants, the earth will be so dirty. So when you go to a forest, you say, fresh air, why? But there are many animals die there. Why don't they smell? Because the other employed, I call them angels of sanitary angels. Those sanitary angels call them and clean them, and it is the best biryani for them. So that is the wisdom of the Creator. Some stupid people, they said this is accidentally happening. Amen. Okay. I don't know. May Allah forgive me and them as well. Give us wisdom, inshallah. Okay. Perfect creation. So وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين, then he started, he begins the creation of man من طين, out of clay. Now, we are not going to study this side of the problem right now, but we have been studying we have studied in the section Sat on Mondays. So I am trying to skip them for a while. So from clay, we all know that, we must have heard that angels of decay, and with sanitary angels. I call them sanitary angels. They do also the part of decaying, erosions, for example, the rust, for example. They are all some out of creation, the perfect creation. Thank you, Anne. Let's come to our subject now. What is the difference? If you like, symbolically enemy of, symbolically, I'm emphasizing on this word, symbolically enemy of human beings are Satan, the Iblis, which envies the status of Adam in creation, compares fire and clay, and that fire is excellent. Or, I mean, maybe what he said is better quality in creation. Although God created it, but you created me in a better form, or from a better thing than Adam is created from clay. But we have to pay attention. And we will study more, but I'm so excited to notice this side of the subject, which not very frequently mentioned. Fire consumes whatever already exists. Fire consumes, never satisfies. Two aspects of fire, never forget. Consumes, just consumes, and never satisfies. No, none of the fire says you put more things in it, fuel. It will say, okay, that's enough now, I don't want it. No, burns until it explodes everything. Never stops. This is satanic side of human beings. Consumes, never being grateful, and never satisfied. The more. Why? In this world, human spirit cannot be satisfied. Human feelings. That is Satan. And Satan said, I am superior. That is satanic side of human beings. It's a beautiful example. I'm amazed. Wow. Miraculous example. How about clay? Earth produces and satisfies easily. You put some water, as much as it needs, it uses it, consumes it. The more you give, leaves it go. Satisfaction. Human, the spiritual side, or the side that we should be following, is producing and satisfied until after my needs are satisfied, not be greedy, not be stingy like earth. And also, earth is down, modest, humble. Fire is always up. Have you seen any fire going down? Up. Even there are, if there is fuel at the bottom of the fire, it goes there and takes it up. claim superiority, higher position. These examples of these simple stories are so delicate. I am amazed. This is just a miraculous side of the Quran. How so perfect example, giving or explaining, revealing the reality of human beings by an example saying, evil I'm created of, you created me out of fire, I am better. Look at this. God says, do you want to be like this guy? It means exemplary guy. You will be a consumer. You will always play or pretend to be a higher position, always higher. And then you will never be satisfied, whatever God provides you freely. Wow. I will say, Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. And even human body is represented as if it is our though, I think it is pronounced, though, should be modest, easily satisfied, humble. Perfect example. Anyway, he begins the creation of man out of clay. Now, this is the journey. We said we are going to study the story of human beings. What was it? Let me see, what did we say as an introduction? Oh, not here. In the text we said, human story, human life journey. How we think from material appearance, start from material appearance of the thing, and then notice its qualities, and then start processing our intellectual activity. And then bringing the production of result of our intellectual activity through using our free will. We have to be very careful whether we are really directing into our brain to, or reasoning, power of reasoning, to deviate it or freely function. We have to be very careful. Look, I'm not saying you have to condition your reasoning. No. You have to be careful not to deviate it and let it function freely. Let it function freely. I'm not saying keep it on the straight path as you usually hear. No. When you let your abilities function without the influence of your previous biased ideas, it will bring you it will take you to the truth. Don't worry. But be careful not to condition yourself. So these are, and then bring it to your feelings as human being. Are you happy with the conclusion, or it really disturbs you? If you are happy with the condition, you have it within your heart. It means you confirm it, you keep it. You confirm it. That is called belief. You see the process, very simple. So the process here also started with what? Creation of man out of clay. So first, whatever, whether if he creates something out of clay or creates something out of fire, creates something very disgusting, ugly, harmful, evil, as we call it evil, something that we don't like, is they are all most excellent creation. See in their creation, study it. Now, and then verse 8. made his offsprings from a drop of humble food, as I earlier mentioned, a humble flute. I understand from this kind of expressions that, presentations, that this is only one example. Human body is formed in such a way that it digests itself, cleans the blood itself, immune system works within the system of the way the body is created. All this, I don't know the names, each organ, member of our body functions, unimaginably perfect. Brain works, ear works, nose works, tongue works, teeth works. You cannot imagine, you cannot number innumerable perfect creations. We're in the simplest aspect of human beings, body. One example is the body produces his human offspring from a drop of humble fluid. Men and women produce that. Women's body is the, how do you say, container of the fetus, or where the fetus, out of a million of drop of fluid, one of them get together, unite with the egg in women's, perfectly work harmoniously. Although men and women body is developing, they call it this, I don't want to use bad word, but the stupid men, irrational people, let's say, or conditioned mind people say, it's developed by itself. But the women developed on one side, when men developed on another side. Now, how women's body has been developed and men's body has been developed in order to carry on their offspring, male in a different form, female in a different form, and perfectly, 100% perfectly functioning out of this unity or unifying or whatever you call it, becoming together. A new human being is created. You can't really explain two cells developed in completely different conditions, and out of this, a new human being is created in a perfect arrangement. Allahu Akbar. Huwallahu al-khaliqu al-bari'u al-musawwiru lahu al-asma'u al-husna. The one who created the universe is the origin creator. Bari originates everything uniquely to itself in the perfect way for the purpose it has been created, to fit the purpose, to accomplish the purpose it has been created for. And al-musawwir, it really formed them, give them a form different from everything, a unique form again to everything. It means I am deliberately making it not to be confused and mixed up with other things. Unique its own existence, every single being, every single part of creation, unique in its creation, yet harmoniously working with the others, perfectly arrangement with no contradiction in the way that they are created for, so that it will be a sign for the perfect names, qualities of its creator. They cannot get any evidence, any sign about accident is doing anything. Accident, result, excellent. Contradictory. Well, coincided the accidents made the perfect. How even, I don't think even the evil could think of it. That's a really very devilish playing the word. Unfortunately, this is the most effective understanding. This idiotic understanding has no evidence at all, is the most effective understanding in this world, in these centuries, late centuries. We may say that who can buy into it? They are using such a devilish language, and without letting the people know, like magicians, putting some simple expressions, words in it, saying that, look how it happens, and demonstrating that they are the men of science, they are the men of truth, they are talking about the facts, not imaginary things like the religious people talk about God and angels. Where are they? Come on, don't be idiot, they say. Playing the words. That's what the Quran keeps reminding us, that look, in hiya illa asma'un sammaytumuha antum wa aba'ukum, sorry. These are nothing but the names, terminologies, Latin language that people admire and see it as a source of information, knowledge, real knowledge, where you use the Latin language, the Latin words for things that the people don't know, and make up something out of these Latin or Greek terminologies. Nothing wrong with those languages, but they are exploited now. You know, if you want to see the ancient knowledge, anything, you have to learn Latin and Greek languages. It means, the very respectful languages. They use this vocabulary and develop their own terminologies, their own terms, their own concepts, and load certain meanings on them and present to human beings. Then those superficial thinking people will swallow it, including the so-called believing people, innocent. They think they believe in God. They use their language. So dramatic. Heartbreaking reality of our time. We may just say, who listens to those people, scientists? Who? Apart from those people who don't think. Really, they say, that's our religion, finish. Those people, not 99% of the people, 99.9% of the people are following this idiot ideology. Just these are the terminologies you and your ancestors, what does it mean? Your previous philosophers who were trying to make up these stories step by step, generation by generation, you made it up. Just put the names. But whereas, where Quran says, on the other hand, Huwallahu, when I say I am the God who is speaking to you, Huwallahu alladhi, no, Huwallahu al-Khaliq, the creator, al-Bari, originator, we talked about it, al-Musawwir, the one gives to every creation to its own form. Lahul asma'ul husna. All the qualities you see in the word, not you made up. You see, you observe, you experience in the word. They all belong to the creator, originator, and former, let's say, not the former, the one who forms, creates everything in a perfect form. All the qualities in the universe belongs to him. You cannot attribute it to anywhere, to anything at all. What is your evidence? Quran continues. يُسَبِّحُ لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Whatever you see, all the qualities openly and crying out, shouting out, يُسَبِّحُ, glorifying, exalting for him, disclosing his reality, or explaining or demonstrating his reality. Don't you see? He doesn't say, oh, this is my word, take it, believe in it. There is no such nonsense claim in the word. But you keep hearing from the Muslims, even all this other followers of the religion just say that requires faith and just accept it. So don't think about it. Islam says, no, look at the universe. له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض. Whatever there is in the universe is confirming what I am saying to you now. So refers to the universe. We have to learn this. Whatever we claim, it's a big word, but take it, think about it. This is my principle. Whatever you claim, you have to bring an evidence from the word. I can experience it out there in the creation, on the mountain, in the air, whatever it is, in the sky, whatever it is, under the earth, whatever, and in yourself. Without bringing an evidence, no one should ever speak about religion, especially about faith. But the fiqh rules are not nothing to be proven at all. You just learn it from the tradition. That's enough. Follow as you learn from the tradition, because fiqh is preserved in the society or in the tradition. Don't worry about it. It is wherever you go to a mosque, you learn all the fiqh practices. Iman, I don't know. That's the problem. That is the problem. Very rare. Why? Almonds, or there are others that I don't really know their names. Very precious stones are so precious, and they are very rare. You have to be careful. You cannot find it in the market. You have to go a special place, jewelry shop, not iron scrapyard. Everywhere, dirt, scraps, yeah. And everywhere you see restaurants, greengrocers, and food stores, full. But jewelry shop, for example, in the area where I live, there is no jewelry shop. Very rare, but very precious. Instead of buying, let's say, one ship full of food transferring or petrol transferred from one place to another, the same value, material value, you can buy just a small 1 square inch diamond. That's it. That is why it is very rare. It is very precious. We have to seek after the precious ones. Inshallah. Don't spend your time. Okay, Shahrani family wrote. At the same time, is it implying that clay is better? It seemed that anyone asserting superiority is a satanic attribute. No. Yeah, that's the question. I got the question. The answer is no, it is not claiming that clay is better, fire is better. Comparison is made by Satan. We don't compare. We don't say human beings are the best creatures. No, every creature is the best creature. Human beings are, as human beings, the best creature. There is no comparison. Comparison, but not between right and wrong. No. For example, is strawberries are better than, let's say, plums? What are you doing? Depending on what you need, what your taste is, what do you prefer, which is irrelevant comparison. Are the stars better than the, I don't know, the tree in front of my house? What are you doing? Tree is perfect in its creation. Stars are perfect in their creation. Comparison in this sense. All the creatures are the creatures. They are equal creatures, created beings. If you want to make a comparison between, you can make a comparison between the creatures and the creator, between good and the evil, between false and the right. That's it, not between them. So fire and earth comparison is satanic, both of them. If I say earth is better, satanic. Fire is better, satanic. But this is the way Quran teaches us. Quran doesn't teach us which one is better, which one is worse. No, everything is worse. Everything is best. Now, this is a good question, of course. It was an excellent question so that we should understand what are we talking about. People keep talking about that the human beings are the best creatures. All creatures are the best creatures. Whatever, who is the creator? It is his art. It is his art. And for example, a germ, let's say worm, it's the best creature, best creature. You cannot say that this is wrong, something wrong with it. We make the comparison. Sometimes Quran speaks to human beings in this way. You know, I didn't create you because human beings look at them. Oh, I don't want to be like a worm living under the earth always, running away from the sun. No, that is, yeah, you are better, you know. You better thank for the creator. That is different. Okay. Jay says, okay, they agree. The separation of science and religion is in itself irrational. A true scientist is already humble about what we do not know. Correct. Now, that's another Jay. I think if I don't misremember or remember it wrongly, before also, you mentioned this separation of science and religion, or somebody did. It may be you. Doesn't matter whether you did, you didn't. Really forget about it. We are friends here. What do we mean by science? If somebody is trying to understand how the things are coming into existence, it is a researcher, investigator. Now they are called science. I don't call them science. Science means in Arabic, fan. But we don't see it as fan in Arabic, in its Arabic form. We see it as ilm. No, science is fan, not ilm. What is seeing? What is the result of my research demonstrates to me. That's it. It is not science. The real science is knowing the reality. But as a result of one's research, real ilm, which is also described in the language of, especially for the Sufi traditional, Sufi trend philosophers, they are great. I really admire them. They are incredible. Yeah, they are open-minded. I really love them, but they call it ma'rifah. It is not the knowledge, but cognition, something like knowing the gist of the matter, something like that, ma'rifah. Or urf, which is something to do with going up. This seventh section of the Quran is called Al-A'raf. It is something to do with a similar source and having the similar tendency in meaning. These are interesting points, but we don't study the Quran from beauty of its Arabic value. So language value, but sometimes we have to understand that. So those people who say that they are the men of ilm, knowledge, no, they are researchers. There is no difference between a man who studies the atom, who's a great job. I'm not saying that they are doing stupid things. No, it's a great job. And also a man who is mechanics or engineer, making some sort of machines for some usages. They are technical elements. But nowadays, these technical personalities or personnel claim to be the knowledge, the men of knowledge. That is the trick. Magician plays this kind of trick. Men of knowledge? No. If I learn and measure this table that I am putting my, while I'm sitting here, putting my very low table, famous table. I love it. So I sit on the ground comfortably. Yeah. And then put my laptop on it and study. So this low table, let's call it, the table here, if I measure it and learn it, it is not knowledge. It is just measurement. I made a research, if you like, searched the dimensions of the table and put the numbers there. Is there any knowledge about it? No, it's exactly the numbers were already there, but I used a certain criteria I accept by myself. I said, this is 1 inch, this is 1 yard, this is 1 foot. Who said that this is true? This is just common acceptance. It doesn't represent any reality whatsoever. Any reality whatsoever. Any reality whatsoever, because the length of the table is already there, but the real knowledge is to understand What does it mean for me? Which kind of meaning I can get out of it? Which kind of sign it can be to represent, to present to me the qualities of its maker? How can I find it? So this argument between science and religion, to me, is irrelevant. All due respect, Jay, we have to know what we are talking about. So we shouldn't just take it from the market and just use it. That's what my attitude is. So, inshallah, you didn't understand that I accused you. No, we have to be careful. The knowledge is human. Then is what is already in the creation, putting a name on it, numbering it, measuring it, that's it. But the way we interpret is human, and that is science. Nowadays, science means interpreting the creation by reducing it to itself, accident, nature of the matter itself. That's what they are doing, reducing it to it. Of course, this measurement is a great job. Out of this measurement, they make the technology which is out of science, out of fan, not knowledge, real ilm in Arabic, or ma'arifah. So let me hear you before. I totally agree that it is a policy. No, there was something. Jay, I am listening to your kind reply. Thank you for qualifying it kind. Although I sound critical and somehow always disagreeing, no, exchanging. Because I'm very sensitive about terminologies. So when somebody uses the terminology which I thought about it for years, and then I say, no, that was my conclusion, I have to present it. Thank you for accepting it as a kind reply, and wanted to answer what was driving apologies. Okay, now I totally agree that it is a policy for a certain area of study to be called science and be given exclusive legitimacy. Appreciate the older definition of the science from the ancient Greeks and early Arab scholars, doesn't matter. Ancient Greeks and Arab scholars, even the Arab scholars, they call it the Muslim scientists. I don't call them Muslim scientists. They are the researchers. They are just the people who measure and take the picture of the things. Interpretation is the science. This is my first halaqah here. Oh, thank you, welcome. Since the summer, alhamdulillah, great to be back. Oh, I'm very pleased to see you again. Because your name is familiar to me in the, of course, participants list. So might have been a different J who commented. No, I don't remember the J. Let me be free and frank. I remember somebody making the same comment. I thought it may be you, not the J at all. No, I don't pay attention to names. I pay attention to the ideas, usually. Yes, I appreciate and agree with the way you question the terminology. I was using the term. Okay, I'm not accusing you. You use the term. The whole population nowadays uses this term. It is not unique to you. So I'm not saying you are making a mistake. No, Jay, please, apologies from my side. No, I'm not saying that you are using. No, people use. So it is in the civilization. The term science with the contemporary way we define it, but not that I myself accept that limitation of category. That is up to you. But we have to be careful. You and I have to be careful. Even when I say Allah, God, I have to be careful what I mean. It's a terminology. It is just a name, as the Quran says, just a name. How do I define it? What do I mean by? That is what we have to develop, this attitude, this understanding. No accusation, not saying you are wrong, you did, no, not you, no, not at all. This civilization uses this language for centuries now. Centuries. Even what they say, yeah, the Prophet Muhammad والسلام, is not a scientist, but Ibn Sina is a scientist. Why? Because Ibn Sina studied how the body is working. Prophet Muhammad is giving the information, but I will use the same terminology, presenting to us how to interpret the way the body functions. What the Prophet did was science, ilm. What Ibn Sina did was fan. It means technical word, like mechanics. Did I express myself somehow useful? So mechanics. So we shouldn't call them scientists. They are researchers how the universe is working. When they make the interpretation, hey, you are not a science. You cannot interpret it. You can interpret it as your personal ideology, as I am looking at the verses and interpreting it as my personal ideology. This is my personal, subjective to me, my understanding. It is subjective to him. But nowadays, they present it as an objective reality. It is just magical, not really qualified with the truth, just magical trick. That is why I'm very sensitive to use the word scientists. They are not, I don't see many scientists nowadays in the world. Not many scientists, but I see lots of researchers. I see lots of technical elements. But when they make the interpretations, that is their subjective ideology. This is the interpretation is called, maybe called science, and it is, to me, a wrong assumptions. But we learn, for example, from the Quran in an amazing way that Quran talks about the meaning of how the things refer to function as signs, but not science, signs pointing to the qualities of its creator. Anyway, thank you for your comments. I'm very pleased because the comments and the questions are always the way we understand what we have to be careful about, either in approving it or disagreeing with it, understanding what's right, what is wrong. These options always needs to be discussed between ourselves. We have to be always open-minded and say, this is, I don't like it. This is just a magical explanation because it doesn't represent the reality. Reality is this. That is, we talk about science. We don't talk about fen, the plural funun. So we talk about what the Prophet Muhammad brought to us. This is science. We don't talk about what Ibn Sina or other Muslim scholars, not the scholars, I'm sorry, Muslim researchers talk about. I'm not belittling their job. They make perfect technology. Thank you. Well, I thank them. Thank you making this technology. I'm using it, but it doesn't mean that I'm accepting your interpretation, which is subjective to you. And Think about what I am saying. You don't have to accept my interpretation, which is subjective to me. Think about it, you are free, but at the end, you will be responsible for your subjective ideas or understandings. We have to be clear about it. Truth is absolute truth or positivist truth, that are not subjective, objective truth out there. Everybody, the Quran represents objective truth. The universe represents objective truth. Whether we get it or don't get it, that's up to us. Oh, the time is well over. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. We have not come yet. Okay, then he begins the creation of man out of clay. That's enough. We don't say, inshallah, you shouldn't have this, we shouldn't have this idea that, oh man, we studied only one verse and it has been more than an hour. Correct. I personally, sometimes, normally, if I'm not busy with something else, at least 8 hours I study. I study Quran and Hadith nowadays. Before, Nursi's books for years. Methodologies, excellent. So benefiting from it, trying to understand the Quran and Hadith, it is perfectly working. I'm very satisfied with it. And sharing my conclusions with you. Sometimes in 8 hours, I make research and study the one verse. I cannot, sometimes, not very often, sometimes I cannot finish one verse in one day. It's quite normal. 1 hour is nothing to understand this word. For example, الذي أحسن كل شيء خلقه. Oh man. By giving examples in 1 hour is not enough. بدأ خلق الإنسان. Not enough. 1 hour is not enough. Why بدأ? The Quran, Allah is beyond time, beyond بدأ or end, beginning and end. No. He هو الأول والآخر. The creator of the universe is absolute. You cannot say there's a beginning and the end. His actions also don't have beginning and end as far as he is concerned. His capacity is concerned. But the definition of Quran, never forget, speaks human being at the level of human being, within the capacity of human being. He speaks to me. I understand the creation in this way. Or خلق الإنسان من طين. Yeah? Maintain. What is the significance of maintain? Not the word teen or in another word, sulalet and something. There are other words also used in the Quran. The difference, the language-wise, no. It is great to study, but that is not my interest and speciality. But why does he say that some sort of earth, whatever it is? Yeah, whatever it is, some sort of earth. What is the difference between earth and fire, and why fire is represented by Satan and earth is, clay is represented by human beings? Why? So we have to talk about it, and inshallah, don't be, how do you say, discouraged. Oh, we cannot finish it in 1 year, the story of Adam, if you go with this speed. I understand, not every time, but it's a kind of warming up into the subject. How the most important function that I am aiming at is to share my understanding how to benefit from the Quran. How to benefit from the Quran, how to study the Quran so that it will have an impact on your life, on your understanding, on your feeling, on your human side. It should have an impact. So that is what my aim is, the aim of this class is. Thank you very much. I should stop now. Let me see. Jay said, do you mean fan is different from science? Yes, definitely. Not Ustaz Ali J. I am Ali. I'm not Ustaz. I'm a student, tilmiz. I'm sorry, but I'm not blaming again. I'm just trying to see the equality between you and me. I'm not claiming anything superior. Anne says, we love the slow pace, mashallah. Thank you, Anne. Ziba says, alhamdulillah, we are able to develop our time and verse. Well, I think we own one verse. The Jay says, yes, mashallah, that is inspiration for us. Thank you very much. Thank you. But if you think that the method we are following is wrong or useless or needs betterment, definitely does. If you bring up the better, higher level of understanding the versus the reality, yeah, then please come up with. But don't bring already known traditional information. I don't like information. I like methodology. Okay, thank you very much. And Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much, every one of you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Praises endlessly belong to the Creator. I cannot praise anything else. Alhamdulillah.